Alright, y'all, so I am going to try doing this recording. I apologize that the big camera is not able to be 100% in focus. I don't have a good setup currently for making it to where you can see stuff completely flat, so we're going to have to work with this the best we can. Hopefully you've got your handouts, so you should have something that either looks like this if you needed to reprint it, or this if you're using the one that you got in class where it's handwritten, and you should have your writing in Maya Glyphs packet. So in class we covered a few of these steps, and then we tried to go over some of them, but if we want to take a look and review real quick, so as you go through and read, there are different things that are highlighted in different colors. We've got things that are background information, steps and they're numbered, things where there are exceptions and special circumstances, and examples. So let's go through and take a look. Okay, so step one is to divide your name into Maya symbols. So they always end in a vowel. Sorry, you can tell I'm recording this during school hours. All right, and although sometimes the vowels are silent. So to start, you're going to divide your name into syllables that end with vowels. So in the case of the examples, to get this set up, what I did is, if I'm using the name Molly, what I did is I went ahead and broke it not only into syllables, but I also broke it into syllables based on how the sounds are going to be the most similar. So in my case, I did Ma and Lee. So with this step one, some background information that might be helpful. This is on page at the bottom, it says 33. If you go ahead in your packet though, when I filled these out, I did them in a little bit of a different order. So there's a point where it goes from page 45 to 13. And then on that here, on 14, it talks about how in ancient Mayan, they had the same vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. And in most cases, those vowels are pronounced like they are in Spanish today. So an A is pronounced like the A in father. The E is long, like is like a long A, like in day. So A and A. I is said long, like a long E, as in keep. So A, E. O is long as in dose. A, E, O. And U is like a long U, like as in Duke. A, E, O, U. So those are the sounds that we have available for vowels. So in my case, even though my name is my first name is spelled with a O, and A, Ma, Lee sounds closer. And even though it's spelled with a Y, E, Ma, Lee, with an I is going to be closer to how it is with syllables. And I broke those syllables into with a dash in between them. So Ma and Lee. Dr. Kellum did Kellum. I'm going to write over this so that it's a little easier to see. Kel am, or K lam. We're getting close to names. We're not going to be exact. So that's the first step. Break it into syllables. Have your regular name and then break it into syllables. Regular name, break it into syllables. Then you might have a really long name and it might have several syllables. Elizabeth. Syllable, 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 syllable. All right. First steps down. I think most people got to that in class. Now, this is the part that some of you have to do and some of you do not. If every one of your syllables already ends in a vowel, an A, an E, an I, an O, or a U, if that's the case, you don't have to do the next step. But, so in the case of Ma and Lee, you just go ahead and write the same thing in the next blank, except and then we'll get to the circling in a second. But if it's like in a sample, like in Elizabeth or Kellam, you need, every syllable has to end with a vowel. So, coming back over here to that page 33 where it says step 1. Hey, camera, you want to focus? You may have one or more extra syllables when you write your name in Maya syllables. Remember, when you need a syllable with a silent vowel, the silent vowel should be the same as the vowel that comes before it. And there's an example. So if your name is Anna, you have it easy. You may break that into 2 syllables. Na. Both syllables end in vowels, you're done. Cool. Just like with Molly. If your name is Adam, it's a little harder. You have to use the silent vowel rule. So Adam is going to be broken down in Adama. So the last A is silent, so it would kind of be like A-D-A-M-A. We did M-A as the last syllable rather than M-E, M-I, M-O, or M-U because we want the silent vowel to be the same as the vowel that came before it. Silent vowels can also be in the middle of a name. So a name like Antonio is going to be A-na-to-neo. So looking at the samples over here again, let's start with the simplest one with Kellam, Kellam. So we'll break it down into Kellama. So Kellama. So K-E-L-E-A and then M-A. So we added an A at the end in those parentheses to make it silent. You added an E here. Here's the thing. Mostly, I just want to see that you guys are trying this and that you're getting to those steps and breaking things down so everything ends in a vowel. Or if you've got a longer name, like Elizabeth, so I broke it into syllables where we've got E, Li, Za, Be, Th. So I needed to have that E added at the end because I had an E at the end of Elizabeth. Add some parentheses around that to show that it's a silent E. Okay, so that is everything on page 33. Moving on to page 34 and to step 2. Now, this was the stuff that most everybody got done during class. Broke it down into syllables, and we made sure that you put every syllable ended in a vowel. The other thing that we need to do is that we need to find what the main syllable is. So whichever place where it has the loudest accent, the part that you emphasize in your name when you say it, That's what we're going to circle. So ma-li. We say ma a little bit louder. So that's the part that we circled. In kelam, it's kel. So we've circled that middle syllable there. In a longer name, you might have more than one accented syllable. Find the one that is the biggest one and circle it really big. Elizabeth. So li, I would say, is the loudest syllable. But be, it gets a little bit of an accent. It's not as strong, so I did put a little light circle around it. So if you want to have one little, if you've got a long name, one light circle and one really dark, intense circle for this is our main syllable, but this is kind of our backup main syllable. Okay, so step 2. You're finding your syllables in the syllabi chart. So after you've divided your name into syllables, you're going to look in the syllabi chart to find the Mayan glyphs for each syllable. If you find glyphs for all the syllables, awesome. That's a thumbs down. Sorry. Thumbs up. Yay, you're good. But you're going to need to know what syllables you need, and you're going to need to, but you might encounter a couple of problems. So let's talk about using the syllabi chart and what you do for specific circumstances. So in the case of ma-li, when I flip this to the syllabi chart, which is towards the back, I'm realizing I took it out of this because I was demoing with stuff in class. I'm going to pause my recording and see if I can find it. This is a good time for me to mention. If you are getting confused on any of these steps, you are welcome to hit rewind and play on the video as many times as you want, because you can go back and get that step before you go to the next step. And you can look at all the different examples, because it's got examples that are written down in your packet. And I've got these samples posted on the Google Classroom, both in the stream and on the classwork page. So go through, do that. I'm coming back.